Well, that was a bit anticlimactic, but hey, it's Season 0. It's always supposed to be anticlimactic, and I do not mind that a single bit. Yes, this is me, the angry fan, the despair reviewer, although I'm practically retired, and this is Season 0, Chapter 261, and the only chapter I still review. Elsewhere, Cosmo, as we learned last time, is an inversion of Moscow, has managed to actually incapacitate Clown. Pretty humiliating way of it all. But then, Cosmo begins to, bind Sister in many comedic fashions, even sitting on her. So Happy actually asks, how did Moscow turn into this? And Cosmo says it's a deep, significant reason, but then just says it's a transformation function. I asked in last video, how did this really happen? If it was something that Sister developed. And it was quasi-true. What I can see from the dialogue, it seems to imply that that Moscow always existed, and he was always something that Sister loved to dominate. But in a phase of delirium, maybe to make things more spicy, she created a switch that makes everything is opposite, meaning that Cosmo is not the dominant personality. It is always Moscow. And Cosmo is just an inversion, as he said, of Moscow that is pressed and makes everything opposite, which means that Moscow is no longer the dominant fat slob guy that has always been dominated by Sister. No, in this case, he dominates Sister because he is now polite, refined, and everything else. So, and of course, Blab blames her and slaps her and everything else. And Happy is just so flabbergasted by this. Clown is unfortunately not done yet. And then decides to self-destruct, but Pino finally activates again and manages to do the EMP that shuts it down. However, doing so also shuts down Cosmo, turning him back into Moscow. So, Sister is not happy. I have to admit, though, that Clown's end is quite anticlimactic. Granted, Sister already destroyed Clown in the previous world, so I guess their reunion battle wasn't exactly needed. But now we go back to the 8 minutes of it all, and the countdown where Hermito is trying to find a way to shut down the clone. But Killer is insistent that he cannot, that his code, is completely unhackable. Is that, and Killer is even taunting and saying, I'm fighting with my head, unlike you. But Hermito is consent saying that the life of Edens will not, anyone will die in that at all. Back on the Witch and Wizard fight, which shows a new type of ether called Haze Element, which creates dark ether that actually forces Wizard to enter into at least what Witch says is overdrive. But if you ask me, that just looks like his battle dress, but maybe that is his battle dress overdrive. And now that he is in overdrive as well as she is, it's very likely that Wizard is actually stronger, given the fact that Witch needed to use overdrive to even fight equally with Wizard. But Shiki has boarded Eden's One, and he cannot return, as he faces off against Lightning Law, who controls the many robots, which is what he called Metal Gore Hypnose, which seems to be something that was used before. And it's shown that Lightning Law is a bit of a sadist, who forces robots to serve him until there's a single screw left. But then Shiki gets stabbed by Lightning Law. As we all say, come on, do not die now. Enough despair! It's bad enough that the new manga of Hiro Mishima just has to be filled with despair. In this scenario, you just have to be full of hope. But I guess he is rushing it all. But the biggest surprise of the end of this chapter is actually, again, showing the flashback of 20,000 years ago. And the biggest surprise turns out that in that flashback, Regret actually was pregnant. with Leonard, who, as you know, was Wizard's human counterpart. And she was thinking of naming the baby Shiki because she felt a powerful life force in the name of Shiki. And as we said before, there seems to be some galactic time-like connection to the name Shiki and the human dark stars and shining stars. But the biggest surprise is that Regret actually was pregnant. But this also makes sense in a way because Witch has always been a maternal figure in the Eden Zero, and especially to Shiki. Was even her final words in the previous world, "I will always protect you." So what? Is it possible that Shiki really is the mother? No, sorry, the son of Regret and Leonard? Well, this is 20,000 years ago, so maybe not. But things are still not exactly made clear. But despair at least winning a little bit, and I don't like that. So give me a thoughts if you have any.